Bonsoir les amis, this is Llyane Stanfield, and as always you can find me at parisianfrench.com. Today is Q&A, not Tuesday, Q&A Sunday, Français Sunday, and I am going to answer a few questions that I promised that I'm going to answer. It's going to be a shorter Q&A today because of the logistics of my day. Sundays are the absolute busiest days of my week. I literally start at 9:30 in the morning and end at 9:30 at night. And today I didn't get a ride, so that's the reason I'm a little late today. So I'll make sure next time I am getting the ride, because otherwise I can't make the Q&A. Danny. Hi Danny, so thrilled to have you here in the group. I'm hoping that you're going to have a ton of benefits from this group. Please ask questions, and I do want to talk about a little bit very shortly. It has been a discussion back and forth, Paul and I, regarding my method, and he's here to learn as well, and maybe I haven't been too clear on my method, and of course it's a learning curve for everybody. So the reason I asked whenever you're not sure to go to English is because it's not so much that you should only write when you're sure. Because that defeats the purpose of learning. That's why I'm here, because I'm not sure, so I'm gonna get out there and put my version, and please correct me because you're the teacher and you're right to ask me to do that. When in the general comments, thank you for having me in the group and things like that, maybe I'm a little bit too overly protective of the beginners, but I really feel, because I've been there, and so I know how frustrating that is when someone writes in French and let me see the message here. When someone writes in French and I don't understand, oh well, it's not even French in my case, Italian or something, and I have no idea what they're saying. And also if they are writing in in that language and they're also not writing correctly, the thing is, me as a beginner, I'm going to take it, oh my god, and so they have this long sentence and everything, they must know better than me anyway, so I'm gonna pick up on whatever they're writing. And that is a danger there, because everybody's learning here, and I'm absolutely addressing every level, beginner, intermediate, advanced. Everybody has their challenges, and so what I would like us to do, if possible, is to write in French under the posts that I ask, I put in the group for conversation. So you will have at least one post a day for conversation. So look for that post of the day, or if it's not, because usually if someone comments on an older post is going to come up in the timeline of the group. So it doesn't matter today, yesterday's, 2 weeks ago, it doesn't matter, as long as it's one of those big images that I put, with the day, right? So don't worry if it's not today's post, but one of those posts where I'm inviting exercise. So let's put every single French possible in there, because I also, it helps me to find them and correct everything and help you correct everything. Because if I don't correct you guys, you're going to build and reinforce bad habits, and I'm here to prevent that from happening. Okay, so that's defeating the purpose of the group, of me as a coach, is helping you, right? So it's hard for me to find French everywhere that people are trying. There are other groups where you can, definitely, put your French wherever you want, and people go back and forth with conversation with you, and that's okay. But in my group, I really want you to come out with a benefit of this group. So I really want to be able to catch every single French sentence, phrase, whatever, that you guys are putting in, so that you see that I'm here for you, and I am either congratulating you, yes, that was super, bravo, something that you know, my God, I did it well, right? Or I'm giving you guidance as to how to correct your sentence. And also, it's very important, after I give you the suggestions of what should be corrected, please rewrite the entire sentence. You don't actually, because I thought, well, maybe you don't want to write again, you can actually edit if that's too much to rewrite again. Whichever way, what you and I need to do, are here to do, you and I are training your brain, okay? So you don't make a mistake, your brain makes a mistake. And so when the brain actually will see the correct sentence corrected with no mistakes, that's what's going to be taken a picture of. So important. That's how brain works. Works in pictures, and especially in writing, right? Because if we're speaking back and forth, like I said, well, you can make conversation with other people, and there is someone who said that it's easier to, oh, not in this group, it's easier to speak than to write. Yes, exactly. So because in writing, the picture is taken by the brain, right? And so there's really no shortcut for that. In speech, there is another thing, right? There are other mistakes that you can develop and reinforce, and that's why I'm saying don't go for a full conversation. I mean, for conversation with someone who doesn't know how to correct you for too long, like months on end, right? You can do it for a month or two. Depends how many times you meet in each month, right? So it depends, and everybody's different too. But in writing, is so important that you guys will see, your brain sees the corrected phrase or sentence, so that it will take a picture of it and will remember better. That's why neural language is way superior than any kind of teaching or tutoring out there, okay? So this is going to help you really remember, forget much harder, and speak much faster. So I hope that helps. I have to really stay on time. Okay, I have Jeffrey's class right away, 6. Okay, so Danny, his number one frustration is that he doesn't understand some words like don and en. So I'm going to address don today. I'm going to address en another time, but I will. So don. So I'm going to say this. Don replaces any person or thing after the word de. Okay, so don replaces any person or thing, so any word, any noun, after the word de. So the example will be, où est le reçu dont j'ai besoin? Où est le reçu dont j'ai besoin? So where is this coming from? Why do I use don here? Because otherwise I would say, où est le reçu? J'ai besoin du reçu. Du is made out of de and le. So de is in there, right? So that's besoin de. It's always inviting don. Don can indicate possession. Voici l'homme dont j'ai trouvé la valise. Voici l'homme dont j'ai trouvé la valise. So, voici l'homme, j'ai trouvé la valise de cet homme. Again, de is in front of it. So, you see how the second rule actually is like an extension of the first rule. I always like to make like an overall rule like that. It's really important. But just know that in that same category with when you have a de in front of a noun, then it can also express possession. And don can refer to a part of a group. J'ai lu plusieurs livres la semaine dernière, dont le tien. So, j'ai lu plusieurs livres la semaine dernière, dont le tien. So, j'ai lu plusieurs livres la semaine dernière, j'ai lu le tien. So, I read yours. Okay, so this is part of the group, as in like, out of the books that I read, yours was included. I would like to keep it at this, because I don't like to give a ton of rules. But what I would like you to do, Denny, I would like you to please write sentences under here, wherever you want, under any post that I put with that invites conversation. Any of the posts where I'm with that big picture, okay? any day. So don't start choosing. Okay, I want to create. I want to eliminate work, not to create work. Okay, so either under this video or under any of the daily big memes there, examples with those three situations, and let me know if you want me to write. Yeah, maybe I'll write the transcript of these three examples, so you have the example. So with I'm going to talk about another time, maybe next week. Paul. Yeah, Paul, I wanted to tell you, I said that I'm going to talk about this, about conversation. So, conversation. So, it's kind of an extension of what I explained for Danny too, right? So we have a ton of rules to think about, but in conversation we really don't have time to think. And most of the times what happens is we default to English, where we just shut up altogether. We just don't dare go into conversation because it's too much thinking for grammar and for words. So this is the reason I always suggest use simple words, slow down, use simple words, and short sentences. So please go to look up Jacques Prévert. This, you probably know this already because you're not a beginner. So and even beginners may know about that. It is a poet, and he writes poems with very, very, very simple words. Very simple words, I should say, for a high beginner. Okay, so a high beginner, low intermediate, should definitely know most of the words. Maybe even high beginner, I would say. There are poems by Jacques Prévert where, like, really you don't even need a dictionary for them. And see how interesting he makes this the poems with very, very basic words. And that's interesting because as little children, like two graders, three graders, he's the favorite poet because he writes so simply, and they don't have to, and it's easy, it flows. And so the moment you see, the moment you see that you have to think too much, then look for ways to simplify things and rules, grammar. What we're talking here? Yeah, so I was telling you generally about conversation. So this is why I specialize in this, because most people will understand. I think you said that you can understand and write. No, you said you can understand well, but you can't write and speak. So writing, which is spelling, and pronunciation, which is speaking, go hand in hand. Very many people don't actually know all the rules of pronunciation. Most people are learning one word at a time. They know some rules of pronunciation, the most obvious, like AI, which would be A, and E with an accent, which is A, and final E is silent, and final consonant is silent. You know, all these things that are like, but there are like 70 something rules that I put together in my pronunciation course. So this could be, you know, where this could fix some of the problem, as well as let me see, speaking and writing. No, listening, you're not complaining about listening, which is great. So I am thinking that this could be one part. So my pronunciation course would definitely be perfect for you. It's J'Ouellette.com, which you have my link, J'Ouellette.com everywhere, slash pronunciation. That's where my pronunciation course is. Ruch, and I don't know if I pronounced your name correctly. Oh, darling, what did you say here? Gender, the genders of the adjectives. Okay, I may stop like very abruptly because Jeffrey's gonna call. So I'm going to say genders. There is no miracle for genders. You have to know that genders, you have to learn the gender with one word at a time. Consider gender part of the word, as in un livre or une livre. Livre doesn't mean anything. Un livre means a book, and une livre means a pound. So really think about the fact that gender is part of the word, and if you don't know genders, that means that you just have to put the word down as if I don't know it really well enough yet, and then start using it in sentences so that it sticks with the gender. So gender is part of the word. There's no shortcut to it, unfortunately. You have to memorize as you did for so many words, okay? So unfortunately I have to stop here, but I'm going to continue. I have Philip and I had another person who was asking me another question that I wanted to answer today. So I'm going to continue answering the questions during next week. So merci beaucoup. Stay on your game and don't ever give up on your dream to become bilingual. Learn to speak Parisian French and break your language barrier. Merci beaucoup et à demain. Au revoir.